nerds! Welcome to the Gastro Nerd. I'm Julianne Fader, and there's nothing like having a great tomato sauce in your arsenal. It is crucial for your cooking needs. You have to know how to make the gravy. Tomato sauce 101 first starts with tomatoes. Shocking. Now, you might notice there is a can of tomatoes here, not fresh tomatoes. Well, one, it's June. It's not quite yet tomato season. But two, canned tomatoes are going to be consistent year-round, so I advise even in June, unless you're making a great fresh tomato sauce, go for these. And even the Italians, they like to can their tomatoes first. They peel them, they can them. It's much easier. But of course, it's really important first to know which tomatoes to buy. Here we have San Marzano tomatoes. That's like the Rolls Royce of Italian tomatoes. The best, that's what you want to use for your sauce. They're kind of hard to find, so when in doubt, just look for whole, peeled Italian tomatoes. Hopefully they'll say San Marzano. It's usually a little bit of an upcharge, but this will do. I happen to like Cento. It's a pretty popular brand. It comes from Italy. I like the flavor. Shop around. I recommend these. So I go for the whole peeled tomatoes. Then a regular yellow onion, a few cloves of garlic, and then a little white wine and some olive oil. And of course a little salt as we go. Basta. And then if we want to get a little sneaky later, we can throw in some butter. If you want to cook, you're going to be cooking with onions. Onions are so crucial flavor-wise, the base of so many things. You have to know how to properly cut an onion. I have a saucepan here, Le Creuset, the Rolls Royce again, my favorite. But any medium-sized saucepan will do. Medium to low heat, because I'm going to gently sweat these onions. A little olive oil. We're cooking Italian, so olive oil is the oil du jour. I guess del giorno. And then let that get a little. You have to make sure you always want to heat the pan or pot first and then add the oil, then heat that. Always that two-step process. But this is a gentle heat. I'm going to go right in here. And these are going to cook down a bunch because what's the number one component of any vegetable? Water. So as it cooks, it's going to slowly get smaller. And you can always add olive oil as you need. I have 3 nice fat cloves of garlic. I'm just going to put these in whole, so I'm going to crush them. You can cut these up, mince them however you please. You don't need any garlic if you're anti-garlic, but then you're just wrong. The beauty of putting in whole cloves of garlic is you get all the wonderful flavor of garlic without actually eating the garlic, which some people don't love. Depends on what your social life looks like after your tomato sauce. So smashing the garlic is really important because you're going to help the garlic release all of those essential oils, and that's the flavor. So by really smashing it, it's going to make a huge difference on the flavor of your sauce. So whoop! And you can just smash like with the back of your knife. You can even use your palm if you don't want to do that. Woo. And then you get eau de garlic on your hands for the rest of the day. So I'm going to toss this in with my onions. The real key thing here, when these are sauteing and sweating, these are sweating, which means it's low heat. Low heat, they're gonna get nice and tender and translucent, and that's gonna translate to tremendous flavor for your sauce. So low heat, you don't want any color, no brown on the onions. You want them to be just crystal clear, as translucent as possible. So just watch your pan. Sometimes adding a little bit more oil is gonna help with that. The last main component of the sauce, the tomatoes. I said I like them whole. Doesn't mean they're gonna stay whole. So pour them into a bowl. Mind you, see all this extra stuff in the can? Grab a little water from your sink and kind of swish it around. See, just a little water. Why waste, right? So this is old school style, just with my hands. You can take a masher, but just be careful. You'll get squirted. That's what she said again. So just kind of go in, and you can mash these up as much as you like. I like them pretty thoroughly mashed. And it's kind of fun. I like playing with the texture. Oh yeah. And this is the basis of your sauce. And these are gonna break down a little bit more, but not totally. So however much you break them down is more or less how broken down they'll be. How do you break down a tomato? Ask it really tough questions. So that's about good. There's nothing really terribly solid left in there. Whoa. And then go shake somebody's hand. So my onions are very nicely sweated. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt because we're gonna keep on seasoning this throughout. Seasoning throughout is so important for flavor. Seasoning means salt, salt seasoning. I'm going to hit this with some white wine. This is my personal preference. This is going to cook off if you're worried. It's gonna add just a lot of nice flavor. This looks like a regular wine bottle. This is because this is drinkable wine. You should always cook with wine that you would drink. It doesn't mean it has to be an expensive bottle. It just means it has to be palatable. Basically, the one test you have to do, yeah, it's decent. You know, nothing to write home about. But the point is, and then the best thing is you can drink it as you're cooking. The wine is absorbed and fully evaporated. Now it has this wonderful, very soft, great flavor. A little bit sweet. Then of course you have all the warmth and the different levels of the wine and the garlic. They're all coming and marrying together. Now time for the pomodori. Fun fact about tomatoes and Italians, tomatoes didn't even come over to Italy until Columbus's time, until we discovered the Americas. That's where they came from. And at first they were completely ornamental. They used them as decorations. And they're part of the nightshade family, which kind of sounds ominous, and it's because they thought they were poisonous. So they didn't eat them for a long time. And then finally one day, they decided, well, we don't want to eat the tomato, so if we mush it up and put it into a sauce, it'll be cool. And that's kind of the way Italians approached a lot of things initially. If you've ever heard of gnocchi, they're these little potato, like dumpling pasta things. Yeah, it's because they got potatoes and they're like, we don't want to eat a potato, we're just gonna mush it up and then make it something else. So that's how the tomato was born. And all things that we love, like the Italian caprese, like tomato salads, that came way later on. This sauce I'm going to let cook very slowly over a low flame, very low, and I'm going to cover it just so. Of course, like I mentioned, you always want to continue to season. The longer this goes, really, the better. So I would like a minimum of a half hour on this, ideally an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And that's just really all those flavors. That time is all those flavors are coming together. And that's what's going to make this a really great tomato sauce. So low heat, covering it just like that, and you let it go. Check it in about 15-20 minutes. So my sauce has cooked for now about an hour and a half. Is it longer than it needs to? Sure. But is it better because of it? Definitely. So as you can see, it's nice and chunky, it's rich. And really the onions kind of all blend in together. And just taste a little. All I added, as it continued to cook, I added a little bit more salt. That's it. If you have nice tomatoes, there's no need to add sugar or anything else. So there you have it. Onions, garlic, a little white wine, and then just tomatoes and salt. And there's a great basic tomato sauce. I'm going to make an amazing pasta with this. You can go on to put this onto chicken parm. You can simmer different meats, fish, you name it. It is incredibly versatile. And once you master this, I guarantee you will come back to it all the time. Thanks for watching The Gastro Nerd. I'm Julianne Fader, and stay tuned for more delicious nerdiness to come.